Great footage yesterday. Welcome to the third and final day of the UIM ABP's Aquabike Grand Prix of Italy. To us spectators, it's been a grand prize indeed to not just be witness to world-class racing performances, but also to be blessed by this beautiful city, Gallipoli. And of course, that is what Gallipoli stands for, beautiful city. As we've spent time eating fresh red prawns or enjoying spumoni ice cream for dessert, or taken in some of the Baroque vibes at the St. Agata Cathedral, or kept an eye out for invaders at the Angiano Castle. Well, you know what? Instead of me talking about it, why don't I just show you this incredible postcard of Gallipoli, Italy. Welcome back. You are joining us live for the UIM ABP Aquabike World Championship. This has been the season opener, and all I can say is wow for yesterday's proceedings. We had an incredible set of races. Unfortunately, we had a bit of a challenge with the live feed, and part of the reason for that is, if you can imagine, we're located right smack dab in the center of a limestone island, and they've actually built up around that. Incredible job by all of our crew with Case Productions to get us back on the air, and of course, all of those incredible action-packed scenes were recorded and uploaded onto the Facebook feed. So if you missed that action yesterday, don't forget to join us. You come right to the Aquabike World Championship Facebook page and check us out here. You're getting the shot right now of Gallipoli, and we are indeed live as we get ready to go for moto number 2 for the women's ski. Here's a quick recap of what happened yesterday. It was an incredible move from Sophie Borgstrom, boat number 23 on that start. She rocked the whole shot, only to be edged out by Emanuele Ortendahl right at the final turns before the front stretch. Sophie rocked that second place until lap 3 when Krista Uzar snuck around her, but 3 was the lucky number yesterday because despite repeated charges and sneak attacks from boat number 33, Katrine Nilby, Sophie had her best place finish and a giant smile on her face at the end of Moto 2 on Saturday. Krista Uzar was uber impressive in second, and Emanuele Ortendahl looked pretty darn relaxed with a 40-second lead. That's your quick recap of yesterday. I'll tell you more, but let's come back to what's happening on the water. This is our Parade of Nations and an opportunity to salute 13 incredible lady racers, 10 countries represented this afternoon as we get ready to fire off the second set of motos and our final day in Gallipoli. And you can see boat number 41, that's Molly Fern from Great Britain, joining us for her rookie year this year. Let us go to an interview with the winner from yesterday afternoon.
The start was a little bit messy because it was one rider who fell down. Sophie came out first and I came second after the splits. So after a couple of laps I passed her and then I led all the way to the finish line. So that felt really nice.
And what a great opportunity to catch up with an incredible young lady, defending champion from last year, and back again, getting ready for her winning ways, Eminelli Ortendahl on boat number 98. Here's a great shot of the crowd as everybody's relaxed and chilling out. That's our VIP section. And you are watching the Parade of Nations lap for GP1 Ladies Ski. That's going to be our first race of the day. Here's how the menu is going to look for you. Our schedule starts like this. We're going to go with the women's ski. That's a 15-minute moto. And then we are going to be going to the men's ski GP1. And then we'll be going to freestyle. And then we're going to finish off the day with GP1 runabout. In your screen right now, boat number 64. That is Yasmin Upraus. All right, and as we get ready to get these guys back on the beach, we're gonna go ahead and throw up that entry list for you so you can take a look at our rundown for today. And down on the line, we've got Eminelli Ortendahl, Krista Uzar from Latvia, Sophie Borgström from Sweden, Katrine Nilby from Estonia, Molly Fern from Great Britain, Yasmin Upraus from Estonia, Jessica Shivane from France, Marta Sorrentino from Italy, Lisa Coson-Battaglia, Virginia Morales, Joanna Graca, Jonna Borgström, and Kylie Elmers rounding out your field. And we've got these guys back at the beach. We're going to be doing a beach start again this afternoon. Bit of a repeat for yesterday and a departure from our normal starts. Quite often on the UIM ABP Aquabike World Championship Tour, we actually do a running start. Now, one thing that is not going to change, regardless of whether you see the beach start or the running starts, is that we are going to line these ladies up on grids. 1st through 5 is going to be going to this big green can, and they're going to have to stay within that line. 6 through 15 will be going to the second grid, and the rest of the pack will be going to that final grid or can, and the breakout is green, yellow, and then the final grid is red. You'll get to see that if you go to the Aquabike World Championship Facebook page, and that'll show you what that starting line looks at. Big right-hand sweeping turn going into a right-hand course. And there's a great shot of Krista Uzar, the young lady that smoked a second yesterday. And of course, our winner for moto number 1, Eminelli Ortendahl, aboard a brand new boat, but her habit of sneaking up into the lead hasn't changed at all. Yasmin Upraus had an incredible run yesterday, that young lady that you're about to see on boat number 64. She went from 13th. She had a little bit of a tough start, got a plastic bag stuck in her pump, moved her way all the way up into 6th place. Great Britain has to be very proud with this. Molly Fern had her hands full mid-pack, still ended up with a 5th overall, and it was a well-earned 5th place yesterday in Moto 1. Jessica Shivane battled hard after performing a flying dismount off of that start, still managed to work her way back up into 8th place. That's a bit of a rundown for our newcomers that you have been watching. And actually a last-minute change yesterday afternoon. Jessica Shivane actually moved her way into 7th, ended up with a 7th. It was after a DQ that caused some of the ladies to move up a little bit higher. Kylie Elmers, the young lady that qualified so well, had electrical issues yesterday afternoon. So she will be lining up on that second grid, an unusual spot for her this weekend. Still looking for some great things. She is one of the few women in the world that does her own mechanic work, and the only woman that I know of on the race circuit today that actually welds and has patented pieces of equipment that is used in racing, not just in stand-up but also in sit-down. One of those includes that drop seat that you see on so many boats these days. That was originally a brainstorm from the young lady that hangs out at SDC, the Sea-Doo Center. You know, that's sort of a famous spot with the likes of Les Cook. Just getting the commissioners, aka course marshals, lined up on the water. We have checked our split section multiple times today to make sure that our timing is on. And once those commissioners are comfortable that the water is clear and ready to go out here in the Ionian Sea, we are going to release the hounds. Okay, not really. We're going to start the race, though. Again, 15-minute motos plus a lap for GP women's ski. Top three finishers yesterday: Emanelli Ortendahl on boat number 98, Krista Uzar on 95, and Sophie Borgstrom on 23. And the card is up. On the line, they are off. Great start for Krista Uzar. Katrine Nilby already wanting to put a challenge on. She charged in fourth, and although a late start off of that line, Emanelli Ortendahl is on the charge. Let's see if she is able to pull out a hole shot. As they come to that first turn, it is Krista Uzar in the lead. Finishing second yesterday, Krista Uzar, as they come into that first double before they go into the split section, it is Krista Uzar with that lead. Krista going to move to the outside split. Emanelli Ortendahl going to make the charge from the inside to see if she can challenge for the official call on the hole shot when they meet on the front stretch. It's going to be Yasmin Upraus following through on the outside, as well as Kylie Elmers. Katrine Nilby and Virginie Morales. Emanelli Ortendahl from the inside has just hit the front stretch. Will she be able to overtake Krista Uzar? Krista with the momentum has got the hole shot. And they are side by side on the first elbow turn. It is Krista Uzar and Emanelli Ortendahl. And they are still side by side as they come back into the beach. And Emanelli just popped up at the last minute. And that is going to give Krista Uzar the hole shot. Emanelli Ortendahl in second and Kylie Elmers in third. Katrine Nilby in fourth. Yasmin Upraus in fifth. Virginie Morales in sixth. Marta Sorrentino in seventh. Lisa Battaglia Casson in eighth. And you're getting the shot here as they work this technical section on the left-hand side of the track as they move back towards this fake backstretch, if you will. And you can see as they make that turn, that off-camber setup into that yellow buoy in this very sharp right-hand turn. They have to make it looks almost like an elbow, 90-degree turn. They have to come back into the middle of the track, then they pop back out towards the open sea, all of that against that camber of the wave. This is that mini backstretch section that you see, and then you're looking at the double whites indicating that they've got to make a choice here. Go to the greens outside or take up the blue buoys, and that's going to be your inside split. Once again, Krista choosing to go to that outside. Emanelli Ortendahl going to make another challenge to the inside split. Great drone action brought to you by Case Productions and Robbie Anderson. Krista carrying a ton of momentum through here, and she was able to hold off Emanelli Ortendahl on that first lap. Emma coming out of this section pretty quickly, but Krista Uzar has been able to carry that full throttle. She had about a boat coming into this, and here's your times: 3:34.53 for Krista Uzar and a 3:34.92 for Emanelli Ortendahl. And Kylie Elmers, who had some boat issues yesterday, is on the gas in third. Meanwhile, a ton of pressure for your young lady that is leading. Now, this has been an interesting recipe, because when you looked back at the two qualifying sessions, it was Krista Uzar that won both of those with the fastest times on the track in both Q1 and Q2. Coming into yesterday's moto, it was Emanelli Ortendahl who got that whole shot and just never looked back. Krista Uzar challenged several times. And now these tables have turned. The question's going to be, as we start sneaking up on this 5-minute mark into a 15-minute plus 1 lap moto, will Emanelli Ortendahl be able to run down Krista Uzar? All right, here's your times: 3:34.53, 3:34.92 for Emanelli Ortendahl. Kylie Elmers at a 3:43.38 in third. Katrine Nilby for the 3:47.73 in fourth, and Yasmin Upraus with a 3:54.05 in fifth place. And you can see these choppy conditions. Now, interestingly enough, you were looking at about the same wave size, but the wind shifted last night. We had been dealing with south-south easterly winds. Winds shifted out a little bit off to the west of us, and that has caused some interesting changes in the wave shape. Not necessarily the height of the wave. The wave was about a foot yesterday. They're about a foot today. Just some nice chop with boat chop mixed in between that. But when we talked to some of the gals out there, she was, Katrine Nilby had mentioned to me, and Yasmin as well, that what's happening is these waves have sharpened up. So yesterday there were nice rollers that they were dealing with, and they were able to cut through them pretty quickly. Today, however, those waves gotten a lot sharper. They've instead of created that nice rolling sensation, they're much more peaked out, and that has created a bit of a challenge for them. Just got to make sure that they're keeping the nose above the water. They can't put the pressure on the nose of the boat like they were able to do yesterday. They're going to have to finesse through these waves, and you can see what I'm talking about here. Watching Emanelli Ortendahl as that boat popping out of the water a little bit, staying a tad bit unhooked. Still pushing through, switching legs as she comes up on each one of those buoys, allowing her to stay low and look at the pressure. She has continued to make sure that Krista Uzar is aware of her presence out there as she tries to move to that outside line to see if she can sneak around Krista Uzar. They're going to get into some lap traffic here quite quickly. We're 6:42 into the race. Thank you again, by the way, for joining us live right here on aquabike.net. That's that turn for the backstretch. Deceptively more technical than it looks, because you can see they're having to go into those waves sideways. Krista dropped down into her boat ever so briefly. And Emanelli is going to go to that inside again, and wondering if Krista Uzar will continue to be able to hold her off as we watch the end of lap number 3. 7:45 into this moto. We're a little over halfway. Emanelli Ortendahl continuing to look strong, and as she drops on that front stretch, she moves into the lead. Emanelli Ortendahl, your new race leader. Boat number 98, right on the start of lap number 4. Great job for her. 2:12.73. Krista Uzar with a 2:18.12, and that tells the story. Emanelli had just continued to pick up that pace, but man, what a respectable run for Krista Uzar out of Latvia, and still up in second, Kylie Elmers with a 2:19.29. Has dropped back just a little bit on the time. Still up in that third place spot, though. Here's your top three: Emanelli Ortendahl, Krista Uzar, and Kylie Elmers. Just want to say a special shout out to Agnieszka, who's watching in for her son, Kasper Kanya, who's going to be coming up next. And by the way, speaking of that, GP1 men's ski is going to be coming at you next after this. You are currently watching the women's ski, and look at Katrine Nilby as she works her way through the traffic here. Katrine in fourth. Good morning to Lori Klein. Thank you guys for watching. Also, good morning to Eric Williams. No, there's not a 701 class, actually. We just got a question on that on the live stream. Hello to Laura Ulrich, who is watching, and she also, I think, is going to be tuning in for this GP Ski men's class. That is Kevin Rederer's beautiful girlfriend. Back on the track, you've got Emanelli Ortendahl, your race leader. 2:15.51 is her lap time. We're on lap number 4, 10:29 in this race. Krista Uzar in second with a 2:17.03. Kylie Elmers. You can hear that boat. Oh, and she just skimmed it a little bit on that front stretch. Kylie did, and that is exactly what Katrine Nilby wanted to see. Katrine trying to reel her in. Kylie Elmers with a 2:21.57. Katrine Nilby with a 2:20.25. Slightly faster on the pace. That is going to be one of the battles to watch. We're 11 minutes into this. And you've got a great shot there of boat number 13 and representing this weekend for the SDC, the Sea-Doo Center. And probably one of the most famous young ladies in racing today. That's Kylie Elmers, both a mechanic, a racer, a welder. She's got the whole package for sure. Born and raised in New Zealand, currently lives in Melbourne, Australia. Works with Les Cook. She is one of the innovators behind the boat that you actually see her driving right now. That is called the SDC Whale. Oh, and she dumped down, and Katrine Nilby took a moment there to sneak around her. And actually, as you're watching on the screen, that wasn't the only pass. Krista Uzar and Emanelli Ortendahl were going at it, and Krista Uzar moved back into the lead. Krista going to the outside split again. Emanelli Ortendahl had just dropped down to the boat. Now remember, Emma's on a brand new boat this year, and she has had to change her riding style quite a bit. She is aboard the Kawasaki. And I wonder if that didn't have just a bit of an impact. Let's see what happens. Emanelli Ortendahl not out of this race. She's on the inside split. Krista Uzar on the outside. And Krista Uzar back in the lead, but it is close between these two young ladies. 12:43 into this one. Krista Uzar with a 2:18.39 and Emanelli Ortendahl with a 2:23.96. And yet another battle shaping up for third place. If you take a look at that front stretch, it's boat number 13 side by side with boat number 33, and Katrine Nilby has the mojo on it. Katrine Nilby, your new third place rider. Kylie Elmers in fourth. Katrine with a 2:22.04. Kylie Elmers with a 2:26.39. Sophie Borgstrom up in fifth with a 2:31.37. Yasmin Upraus with a 2:24.05 in sixth. Virginia Morales with a 2:29.70 in seventh. Meanwhile, Krista Uzar with a 2:18.39. We are on lap number 5, 13 and a half, a little over, minutes in the race. And Eminelli Ortendahl, they have been on that left-hand side of the track the whole time. You can see how big this monster course is, normally about 1.2, 1.3 kilometers. We're looking at about a 1.8 kilometer course this weekend. Big course and big wave conditions starting to come in. You're seeing boat traffic waves there. Typical chop has been about a foot today, but with all the boat traffic, with the fishing boats coming in and out of this harbor, that has created some sleeper boat traffic waves that is what you're seeing pop in the front of these boats up. Great racing from Krista Uzar. Speaking of pretty boats. All right, Eminelli Ortendahl going to the inside split. We've got 14:39 on the clock. Remember, 15-minute moto plus a lap as these guys have a shootout once again as they hit the front stretch, and you can see that shot of Krista Uzar. And as we open up wider, Krista Uzar has opened up the pace. Eminelli Ortendahl went down briefly on that split section. White flag is out for Krista Uzar, and that would make a win for Krista Uzar. She got second yesterday. If she takes this win after this white flag, she will have the overall, and that'll be her first win on the UIM ABP Aquabike Tour. And a Grand Prix title, yeah. Thank you so much, Q. All right, well, this is an oddity, right? As we came in on this final lap, Eminelli Ortendahl, 8.5 seconds off the pace, and she's got a little bit of makeup time. 15:49 on the clock, final lap. Krista Uzar on that last one had a 2:18.81. Fastest lap time, however, was Eminelli Ortendahl. She has the lap time record for this moto at a 2:12.73. Question's going to be, is Krista Uzar able to beat the lap time and hold off Eminelli Ortendahl? That's her shot of her as she works her way through the backstretch. Now that's going to be the final turn, and then she's going to get an opportunity here to open this boat up. Oh, and you can see Sophie Borgstrom and Yasmin Upraus going at it. Sophie Borgstrom in fifth, Upraus back in sixth. Boat number 23 and 64. Again, outside split for this final lap. Will Krista Uzar follow the lap traffic through? And she does. That might be an opportunity for Eminelli Ortendahl. Let's see what happens. Willing to bet Emma's going to take that inside, but she doesn't. Follows Krista Uzar on the outside. Krista Uzar on this front stretch as the checkered flag begins to move up. And congratulations to this young lady on boat number 95 from Latvia for a checkered flag and her first Grand Prix win on the UIM ABP Aquabike Tour. Fantastic race. Eminelli Ortendahl in second. By the way, the lap time on that final lap was a 2:20.46. Eminelli with a 2:23.45. Go Emma, go Marta, go Yasmin. Just some of the great feedback. Shout out to Norm Lee and Darren Disney, Mateo, Taya Majur, David Rapp. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon, Wayne Curtis. Hi, Dale J. Yes, it is an incredibly gorgeous spot. And coming in Katrine Nilby in third with a 2:23.26. Kylie Elmers in fourth with a 2:27.90. We're going to be coming at you next with men's ski GP1. That's going to be our next race this afternoon. Right now you're watching Emanelli Ortendahl chatting with her team, and Krista Uzar going to come over and give Emma a big hug. It's exactly what happened yesterday with Emma giving Krista a hug. An amazing race by these two ladies, and on the recap of that, you saw a lot of battling. Krista Uzar actually back and forth passing with Emanelli Ortendahl. Unbelievable. Krista had the old shot. Emma passed her. Krista passed Emma. We end up with a Latvian for their first ever Grand Prix. Great job for the young lady. Shout out to Ken Gallagher. Thank you so much. Yes, you know who's on that. Robbie Anderson's doing our drone footage for Case Productions, and a big shout out to those guys. They're just amazing. Team Commander is in the house. Yep, thanks Dale J. You'll be seeing some Commander boats coming at us next. Hey, Wayne Curtis. Great to have you aboard. Eva Bassanyani, you're here as well. Laura Urich doing a good job, Krista. We'll be right back after this short break with some more great racing. I'm Dawn Dawson, your host.
Second row of lights come on. Third row of lights come on, and they go off, and the divers explode away from the duck.
UIM ABP Aquabike World Championship Tour. This is our first round in Gallipoli, Italy. I'm Dawn Dawson, and we have a ton of people listening in. I just want to say a special shout out to several of them. Maria Pope, thank you so much for joining us today. Laura Urich, Yaroslav Turner. Hey, how are you doing, bud? Mark Glue, great to see you. Tyler Morgan, thanks so much for joining us. I even see Josef Alrazaga watching, and he's supposed to be racing here pretty quick. Quit goofing off, buddy. I'm just kidding. Norm Yee, great to have you here. Agnieszka, hello, darling. Nicole Regler, also, thank you so much for watching today. We have got Minsky GP1 coming at you next. Håkan Borgström behind me, and he also had an incredible day yesterday. Oh, he said he can't talk right now. He said he'll come back. You can hear he's out of breath. One of the most overworked men. Back in the pits, Håkan Borgström. All right, so before I introduce the Parade of Nations for the men, let's catch up with the gentleman that took the win in Moto number 1 yesterday.
It was amazing. I got off to a great start, and there was a lot of emotions in this race. I just wanted to enjoy. 2 weeks ago, I didn't know if I was able to race, if I'm able to race. And, you know, I went through a hard time the last 2 weeks with rehab, and I didn't tell anyone because I didn't want to, you know, put this in the way. And after coming back that injury and making it happen in the first moto with a number 1 finish is amazing.
Welcome back. What an incredible job that Kevin Rederer did yesterday in that win and aboard a brand new boat, no less. It was really cool to get the opportunity to watch him proudly racing for the Victory team, and that was a big sponsorship that he picked up this year. Hey, another couple of shout outs. Hey, Mike Klippenstein, it's good to see you, bud. I wish you were here too. We've got an incredible lineup. Wait until you see this. 29 racers, bud. Hey, also a shout out to Riley Matzdorf. Go Preston, number 24. By the way, Preston Matzdorf nailing a top 10 yesterday. Great job for a young man that had never seen the ocean before yesterday's first moto, and a pretty proud moment for him. Hey, a shout out to Peter Anderson, Antonio Vario, and all the other great guys. And we are just about to show you this entry list, and I will give you the rundown as we go through that for the men's ski. From Belgium, it is Quentin Bosch, Raphael Morin, Kevin Rederer, Michael Perret, Ulrich Bernsen, Steen Schvetlein, Alberto Monte, Daniel Anderson, Marvin Martinez, Anders Keller, Marcus Lutzekert, Danielle Biscaglia, Lucas Benar, Casper Kanya, Preston Matzdorf, Andrea Guidi, Simon Raoul, Andreas Tayson, Barnabas Jabo, Axel Courtois, Nicola Piscaglia, Gabor Jabo, Mutt Sali, the gentleman from Flamingo Racing, and also his buddy Mustin Min, also from Flamingo team here this weekend, Slaven Invenchek, Tim Otson, Martin Manny, Carlos Velas Andres, and Daniel Martinelli, just to name a few. Actually, that was our entire lineup. Check this out. We had 29 riders, 14 different countries. You're going to get the opportunity to see some of these different countries as we get ready to go with the Parade of Nations. Man, no kidding. Great race. Let's just do a quick recap while we get these guys ready to go. Speaking of bullets in GP Ski Men's, Michael Perret flew off the beach like a bullet yesterday. The Victory Team Kawasaki boat of Kevin Rederer right on his heels. By the end of the official lap one, it was Kevin Rederer who had moved into the lead. Raphael Morin playing the opportunist, that French rider on boat number 44. He snagged second with Quentin Bosch. All those struggling in third with a water box failing, rode tremendously. Ended up with a third overall, and that is the way it looked for the next 13 minutes. 90, 44, 98, 77. It sounded like a lotto machine, right? 83 of Ulrich Bernsen, who had a great run. He was going back and forth between him and boat number 53, Martin Manny. So it was Norway and Estonia. And then 83, of course, with a better lotto number in the end, but only by one spot. Great showing also by American Preston Matzdorf from Lake Havasu City with the 10th place overall. Considering, by the way, not only his first race in the ocean, but also he was OPP, other people's property. Also, by the way, another great run for Simon Raoul, a brand new rookie rider for us. He's from France, riding for Team Perez. He ended up with a 9th yesterday. So those are just some of the races to watch. Greetings from Sweden, from Peter Anderson. It's good to have you, bud. Brad Shelton, good luck, Team Go Fast. That would be Stian, Preston, and Raphael doing some shout-outs, and Brad Shelton giving that shout-out, Pascal Padovani. And let's take a look out at this Parade of Nations. Thank you guys again for joining us live. 14 different countries. Norway. And you got Ulrich Bernsen riding for Norway, as well as Steen. Steen, by the way, the head coach for Team Norway. Daniel Anderson, who, by the way, got tagged pretty hard in his calf yesterday. Had a bit of a collision happening, pretty common out there. But hopefully he'll be able to get back out on the track today. Looking pretty sore last night, but they had done a lot of work on the calf, so hopefully he'll be okay. Yes, I love the Parade of Nations too. It's good to have you here. Susan Gilbert, Bubba Kirsten in the house from Riva Racing. Good to have you joining us, sir. Also, some of the other countries represented. You can see Denmark down there. That is Andreas Tyson. Hungary with Barnabas Jabo and his brother Gabor Jabo. España, that is Carlos Velasandres Belgium, of course, Quentin Bosch. France, Simon Reol. Also, Raphael Morin and Marvin Martinez riding for France. Michael Perret also riding for France. We've got USA in the house with Preston Matzdorf. Italy also here in force with Andrea Guidi, Alberto Monti, and Daniel Pascalia, and his brother, Nicolia Pascalia. Croatia is represented, that's Slaven Ivancic. And of course, Cambodia, AKA Thailand, with the Flamingo team, and that is Mustin Min, who we get to see the first time this year, and also Mutt Sali. You guys probably remember both of those things. They did very well in the USA. David Cabrera in the house. Good to have you here joining us on the live feed. Felipe Neves. Vinicio Leze. And it looks like Team Thailand and the Flamingo team watching in, doing a shout out for their race partners. And they are bringing these guys back up to the line again in that first section. Let me give you that rundown. It is going to be Kevin Rederer on the pole position. Raphael Morin from France in second. Quentin Bosch in third on the pole. Michael Perret and Stian Schwettlein, that's that first group that you are going to be watching. Those guys are all going to be going out to the first part of the grid. Remember, this start is broken up into 3 different grids. And actually, once you see these guys get underway, you'll be able to see these buoys. They are monsters out there, and they have to stay just to the left of those respective key ends, which are their grids. So green being the first group, yellow being the second group, and that would be 6 through 15, and then 15 plus on the red cans. So that's how the lineup, and obviously a huge advantage for your top 5 riders. That's why qualifying is so critical, and how you do in that first moto, obviously. Not just for the overall points, but you really need that position if you can get it. A little bit of update from back in the pits. It looked like it was a Bendix originally for Quentin Bosch yesterday. He's riding a Kawasaki. It's got a Kawasaki engine on the inside, and by the way, had not popped the engine at all. That was a stock Kawasaki engine that they were working with. They thought they had a Bendix problem yesterday. Turned out to be a water box. They finally uncovered that about mid-morning. That is Kevin Rederer. Who just went out of the line warming up there, and you can see that first grouping, Stian Schwettlein with a brand new boat. He'd been doing so well on the Pro Force last year and had been working with Chris Hagest. And he is on a Kawasaki, and Go Fast Christophe Girello has been helping him out, and it looks like Stian is ready to go. Ulrich Bernsen, by the way, is, if you think about it, the pole position on that next grid. So getting a 6, and then Martin Manny. You can hear the race directors in the background talking to the commissioners, aka the course marshals. And that is a massive lineup, you guys, 29 riders on that lineup. They allow 30 riders on the line. You know, I was just taking a look at that lineup. It looked like Kevin had his hand up in the air like he was trying to get a 2-minute hold. Not sure. And an unusual setup for this. Not sure if something may be happening with that victory boat. Did see Kevin's hand in the air. Not sure if we are on we must be on a 2-minute hold. Still in a holding pattern. Card is in the air, you guys. We are ready to go with moto number 2 for GP Men's Ski. Great start for Stian Schvetlein and Quentin Bosch. Kevin Rederer having to make up a little bit of time on that boat. That's got me wondering if that boat was having a little bit of problem getting started. Quentin Bosch, Michael Perret, your top 2 riders. And it is going to be Quentin Bosch as they come off of that first turn to get ready to go into the split section. Quentin Bosch going to this outside split. And Kevin Rederer going on to the inside split. Raphael Morin also choosing that inside. And it's going to be Michael Perret following Quentin Bosch through the outside. As we set the stage, and Stian Schvetlein also goes to the outside, and hole shot for Quentin Bosch. Kevin Rederer in second. Michael Perret in third. Raphael Morin in fourth. Stian Schvetlein in fifth. Ulrich Bernsen in sixth. Marcus Lutzekert in seventh. Preston Matzdorf in 8th. Simon Raoul in 9th, and Martin Manny in 10th. Still trying to get some race numbers for you a little bit further back. Meanwhile, there's your shot of the 2 leaders. Quentin Bosch with that water box challenge. Hey, shout out to Kevin Redinger, by the way, and Octane Toms. Go, Michael. Yeah, no kidding, right? Richard Ignatius, good to see you, bud. Brees Lopez, Quentin without a hood. What? Cole Kramer watching. It's good to have you. Cole Kramer, by the way, is the reason that we've got Preston Matzdorf actually racing. So, Cole, I think we have you to blame for this. This guy's awesome. Special shout out to Sandra Ores. And not sure. I heard a oomph, but not sure what was the cause of that. Once again, Quentin Bosch to the outside, and sure enough, Quentin Bosch is riding without a hood. Just confirming that. I don't know how long that's going to last. That ought to be pretty interesting. Meanwhile, Raphael Morin getting around Kevin Rederer using that outside. Kevin Rederer in third. And Stian Schvetlein in fourth. By the way, that is a bit of a reversal, and that could have cost, that move right there on that lap could have cost Kevin Rederer the championship, because Rafael Morin had second yesterday. Quentin Bosch with a third and a 1 would be 4. Rafael Morin with a 2 and a 2 would also have a 4. And Kevin Rederer with a 3 and a 1 would also have a 4. That is a 3-way tie. And then Rafael Morin, though, with the best time on the second. We'll have to see how that works out, but interesting. 2 and a 2. We'll give you those in a minute. All right, so recap on that. Kevin actually had missed a buoy and had to pick up the penalty buoy. That's what cost him that spot. Regardless, the points now are up for grabs, because prior to that, Kevin Rederer still had the chance for the overall victory today, holding on to that second place spot. If he wants to lock that down, he needs to move back up into that second. You see him coming off into that front stretch here in just a moment. Kevin now on the outside split. Right after this, we'll get you some times. And as they come back through, I do not see Quentin Bosch because of that hood issue that was going to cost him sooner or later. Rafael Morin has moved into the lead, and Kevin Rederer in second. Two and a 1 and a 1 and a 2. He still has a challenge. Kevin Rederer's got to get around Rafael Morin. Rafael got second at the first moto. If he takes the win on this one, he's got the overall. Here's the time for Rafael Morin, 1:55.37. Kevin Rederer with a 1:56.63. Stian Schvettlein up in third with a 2.0038. Michael Perret in fourth with a 2:0132. Ulrich Bernsen in fifth with a 2:0388. Marcus Lutzekert in sixth with a 2:0605. Preston Matzdorf in seventh with a 2:0739. Marvin Martinez, great run for him, 2:0760. Bart Manny in ninth with a 2:0634, and Simon Raoul in 10th with a 2:0744. And there's a quick shot of our VIP section. French riders already chatting. I'm talking about GP men's ski. This is GP1, Moto number 2. That is what you're watching on the screen. Shout out to the 2 riders for Team Flamingo from Salika Moore, Mustang Men, and Mutt Sally. And there's your shot of Kevin Rederer working this inside split, and he has got this wide open to see if he can run down Rafael Morin coming from the outside. Rafael having to deal with lap traffic. And while it got him close, has not changed the position. Rafael Morin with a 1:57.59. We are on lap number 3, and this is 7:14 into the race. 15-minute moto and an extra lap. 1:57.59 is the current lap time for Rafael Morin. 1:57.53 was the lap time for Kevin Rederer. 6/100ths of a second faster. He is 1.86 seconds behind the race leader. That's Kevin Rederer behind Rafael Morin. Stian Schvettlein with a 2:02.26 in third. Michael Perret with a 2:04.16 in fourth. And very, very sadly, no sign of Quentin Bosch. I believe he hit under a tow rope at the moment, so a very tough break for that incredible racer and our defending world champion. Yeah, just a quick recap on that. Quentin Bosch with no hood. And that's what caused a problem, and it looks like our second place rider, Kevin Rederer, just a massive nose stab off of the final portion of that turn, and that just about split him off the boat. He is back aboard and going through the outside split, but a tough break for our second place rider. Not based on their time. We combine both moto number 1 and moto number 2 for their overall score. I'm just giving you the times on the laps so that you've got an idea of how fast the riders are going. Rafael Morin still leading, 1:58.95. That was his lap time on this last lap. 10 seconds ahead. Yeah, that was because Kevin Rederer actually did that nose stab off of the back stretch, and that cost him some precious seconds. Rafael Morin now with a 10-second lead. Yeah, and a very tough break, by the way, for Quentin Bosch. The recap on that, he was going without a hood, and eventually, as you guys know, it's really tough in water conditions this big. He was unable to keep going there, towed Quentin Bosch in. He was unable to finish the race. Shout out to Chris Hagest, and you are watching Ulrich Bernsen as he works his way around this course. Boat number 83 in 5th place. And Bernsen, as he works on to the final couple of turns here onto the back stretch. That is Dan Anderson that you see in the camera here. The gentleman I talked about yesterday, rides for Norway, got tagged really hard on his leg right around his calf area and is dealing with a lot of swelling on that. Still out racing, which is an impressive ride for him. And that is boat number 83. You're watching Ulrich Bernsen on boat number 83 in 5th place. His time on the track on this lap, 2:05.60. We are 11 minutes, 21 seconds into this race. We've got a 15-minute moto plus a lap. 4.5 minutes left, plus a lap. This is the left-hand side of the track that you're watching. That is a triple turn and then a double to this quasi backstretch, if you will. You see those yellow buoys? That is their version of a backstretch. They have to go out. It's a sharp elbow turn and then come back in towards the middle of the course. There's our opportunity to catch up with Michael Perret. Michael Perret is running in 4th. He's got a 2:03.33 on this lap. Again, Michael up in 4th place. Rafael Morin, 1:57.69 for lap number 5. A young rider out of France, a Euro champion. He studied under Jean-Baptiste Body. 2 European Championship titles, and he is working in some lap traffic at the moment. Again, Quentin had a challenge. He lost his hood and unfortunately had to get a tow back into the pit area. He was unable to finish the race, which was a tough break for Quentin Bosch, who came into the second moto in 3rd, and right now 3.37 seconds is all that separates your race leader from Kevin Rederer in 2nd place. That is a 9-second makeup that Kevin Rederer did in 2 laps. Shout out, by the way, to Jonathan Owens and Travis Kraft, Gerardo Molinari, as well as Team Flamingo, our Thai teams in the house watching. Clay Barbie, shout out to you as well, and Valentine D8, and JJ Poret. I see the Poret family out watching today. And the Poret is representing good. Michael Poret in fourth. Michael on the run right now. He's got Stian Schvetlein ahead of him. Stian in third place. Kevin Redder in second. And Rafael Morin is leading. And there's your shot of Stian Schvetlein, the gentleman that heads up the Norway team, taking over for Ronnie Mangerud, who for years and years was the coach for Team Norway, and now he is the head coach for those guys. Sorry, I got distracted because we were watching a couple of things happening out here. Let me get you up to date. That is the challenge between Marcus Lutzekert and Martin Manny. Lutzekert's in 7th, Manny is in 8th, and they are within 2 boat lengths of each other. Now the scene you're seeing right here is the left-hand side of the track. The way the track runs is a sharp series of turns. They have to actually come back in towards the beach at one point. Shout out to Tara Lejo, who is watching the feed, and Maxime Benoit, as well as Peter DeSmit. Peter giving a shout out for Kevin Redderer. Rafael Morin on boat number 44, and that is the turn that I was talking about where they had to come back into the beach, and then you can see they have to pick up a pretty big sweeper area, and Rafael dealing with a ton of lap traffic. Kevin Redderer is at a 1:55.27. Kevin and Rafael actually have lapped the field as we are on the white flag. 15 minutes, 46 seconds on the clock, and the white flag is out. Lap time for Rafael Morin, 1:58.68. Oh my goodness, what is this? Rafael Morin, 1:58.68. He has the fastest lap time thus far, 1:55, almost fastest, 1:55.37. Still watching to see if Kevin Redderer is going to be able to get around him. Now remember, he had a 10-second deficit after nose stabbing off of the sweeper turn just before they go into the split section. They're on the last lap. Rafael Morin and Kevin Redderer trying to run him down. Rafael Morin coming through, and he is going to get the checkered flag. Congratulations to Rafael Morin from France. And I mean, he came in with a massive pack of riders. Still looking for Kevin Redderer, and I just saw him come from that outside, so he got caught in that lap traffic. Rafael Morin, I'll get you the results here in just a second. This is a bit of a brouhaha, but Rafael Morin, that much we do know for sure. Rafael will take that win. Boat number 44. Final lap time, 1:58.10. Stian Schvetlein up in second. So here's what happened. Kevin went down. Kevin actually, I do believe, went down. We're still checking the leaderboard and footage, but I believe that Shti in second place, Michael Pere in third, Preston Madsdorf, impressive run. Fifth, 2:10.25. Ulrich Bernstein in fifth with a 2:05.42. Marcus Lutzekert in sixth with a 2:07.11. Martin Manny in seventh with a 2:06.89. Marvin Martinez in eighth. And I'm going to hold off on giving you the rest of these till we get the rest of the story on Kevin Rederer. Up until that final lap, he was 3 seconds behind, and then I do believe he went off the boat. I had a couple of questions here, by the way. We did film the first moto, you guys, and we have that recorded. They are going to upload that for you. Just check it out on the website. So for those of you who were asking about the live feed yesterday, all of that was recorded. So you will be able to actually watch the first moto yesterday, and obviously a fantastic hole shot from Michael Pere. And he was pretty excited about that we got that recorded. So we will be uploading that first moto so that you guys will be able to watch that a little bit later. All right, again, just a quick recap. Rafael Morin with the win in Moto number 2, and that is going to give him the overall, the Grand Prix of Italy. That is his first opportunity to win on the UIM ABP Aquabike World Championship Tour, and I suspect that the thrills and spills will continue. We'll be right back.
Second row of lights come on. Third row of lights come on, and they go off, and the divers explode away from the duck.
We started out with a incredible run with the ladies class. Welcome back, by the way, to the UIM ABP Aquabike World Championship Tour. That was an astonishing turn of events. Just a quick recap as we watched that. It was Quentin Bosch with the hole shot, and Kevin Rederer in second, and then it all went a little bit wonky. Quentin Bosch was going without a hood. Last minute call. I was having problems with that water box earlier today, and they had been working on that engine all night last night, actually, and so something else must have cropped up on him. Threw the hood off, tried to make a go of it, but man, this is a long race to run without a hood, and unfortunately it cost him. So Quentin Bosch out of that one. Then that put Kevin Rederer in the lead. Then Kevin lost that lead. Rafael Morin moved into the lead, and then it became a dogfight between Rafael Morin and Kevin Rederer. Fantastic racing for Preston Martzoff. Of course, as you know, the end of the race, Rafael Morin, your new winner and a Grand Prix champion. Congratulations to that young rider from France. Yeah, Preston rocked it. Where are the 550s? Travis Kraft, you're hilarious. Woohoo! Ken Gallagher, congratulations, Raphael, Stan, and Preston. Yes, great racing. Shout out, by the way, to Nedra Atwood, who's also, does the winner get pasta? Listen, we have been eating pasta and awesome pasta all week long. You're watching live from Gallipoli, Italy. I'm Dawn Dawson, your host for this weekend, and we've got back-to-back racing in Italy this weekend. Of course, we are in the southern portion of the heel of the boot of Italy, and then next week we are actually going to be located in one of the most beautiful places on earth. We'll be in Sardinia at the city of Olbia, and that'll be right directly across. It's an island directly across from Naples. But right now we're in a gorgeous fishing tourist, beautiful Gallipoli, Italy. It is a limestone island where if you see out in the back there, beautiful postcard views. That was originally a castle and built to protect the fishing port, and the streets are serpentine. If you try to work your way through there, nothing is straight. Very narrow streets and very serpentine layout. All of that was to help prevent invaders, keep invaders from taking over the town. And now it's just gorgeous, full of great shopping, wonderful bed and breakfast, and amazing hotels. Very famous for fresh seafood, red prawns. Another thing they're famous for is Spumoni ice cream. I know, Nedra, we feel horrible for Quentin, too, and thank you so much, girl. Yeah, what a tough break. He had an incredible race going, great hole shot for Quentin Bosch, and man, I tell you, what a trooper yesterday. He actually fought that entire race. Quentin Bosch was in third, as you guys know. He's been racing since he was 5 years old, and a privateer racer. So it's one of those guys that just makes blue-collar racing look good, right, as the rest of the 95% of us. Jeffrey DeCoit hanging out with us today. It's great to have you, sir. Pancho Marjak is in the house. And, oh, my gosh, here's a blast from the past. Chow Lit Kujarun is watching and saying, Thailand, go, go, go. And he is shouting out for his riding mates. And one of those, of course, Mut Sali from Team Flamingo, as well as Mustang Min. I will give you the rest of those results. You can see them right on the stream. They will post those up again for you. Alexander Bourgeois, welcome. Philip Salabur also watching. Mateus Reines in the house. Great to have you here. And by the way, Mateus Reines, I know that Quentin Bosch had been working with you, and he had an incredible race going on, but unfortunately had to take his helmet off. So tough break. We are going to be going to freestyle up next. Don't you move, because GP Runabout's still here. And you can see these guys lined up. This is our freestyle division. I miss you too, Chow. Great to have you watching, and your teammates did really, really good. That is Mustang Min, by the way, that Chow was referring to, and he was on boat number 13 today in the ski class, and also boat number 93, Mut Sali. 2 champions in their own right. So before we get going with the freestyle competition, let's do a quick recap and see what it was like right here on the tour in 2017.
Teams are ready, riders are set. The Grand Prix begins. They're in a drag race to the hole shots. Huge backflip barrel roll combo. Kevin Ryder in the lead. Quentin Bosch chasing up. Stunning night show draws the crowds. but he tumbles around the boy. They are neck and neck, but they collide. Abdulrazak passes Jeremy Perez on the straightaway. Blom challenging for the lead. The 2017 World Champions Emineli Ortendal, Nask Bojancic, Quinton Bosch, Yusuf Abdulrazak.
Welcome back to the UIM ABP Aquabike World Championship Tour. I'm Dawn Dawson. You are watching as we are live from Gallipoli, Italy, and we are getting ready for the freestyle event, and you can see we have got a great crowd this afternoon lined up all along the seawall right in front of the port. We are literally staged right inside of the port of Gallipoli, where all of the fishing boats go in and out every morning, and it has been a very fun area for us to hang out as we interact with the town. Shout out, by the way, to all the people that are tuning in on the live stream. Vicky Gregory, I see you there. Lada Kempen, Panau Min. Juanita Moli. It's good to have you here. Lots and lots of Thai team watching. Ricardo Dantas. Yes, we need Alessander Lindsay for sure. Would be great to have him. We need some super jets. Travis Kraft giving us some feedback today. .8 mile kilometer course, over 30 buoys, and our number of riders this week definitely much higher. We had to do qualifying in the runabout class, and almost had to do qualifying in the ski class. We allow 30 riders, but 29 of them actually showed up on the line. We're about ready to go with freestyle, and our first competitor out of the gate is going to be Alexander Karimshin from Russia. Alexander competed the 2017 Russian Championship. You can see he's aboard that Richter boat. Opens up with a nice barrel roll. He's part of the Richter team. Team Richter, along with the likes of Mark Gomez and Nach Floriancic. This little barrel roll, you can see him locking in. This is his first opportunity for us to watch him this weekend. Another nice one-footed barrel roll, one-footer, one-hander, right in front of the judges and the VIP section, so he's working a tight area here on purpose. Going to do a little series of back flips as he walks away from the judges. Great combination, and you can hear the Italian commentator in the background and the crowds very much enjoying watching freestyle, as they always do. And unfortunately, it looked like something going on with the boat. You could see him as he indicates to the commissioners on the water that we might need to get a tow rope. You can see how shallow it is for these competitors. So Alexander Karimshin unfortunately had to abort mission on that one. These are 3-minute routines, longer freestyle routines than we're used to seeing. So a very tough break. I'm glad everybody's putting their hands together for him. An incredible competitor. He came into this after the first heat yesterday in 5th. Not quite as high as the other riders yet on variety. Scored pretty well in the quantity. Not too Not too high on extensions, but here are some of the things that the freestyle judges are looking for. Variety is going to be a big factor, quantity, extension, style, and then, of course, penalties will actually subtract from those points they start out, with the opportunity for 100 points on each. And Giacomo Crocchio. The water's actually pretty awesome, Michelle. Thanks for tuning in. I see Chris McCluggage, the Mac Attack, has tuned in this afternoon. It's great to have you, bud. Chowlit Kujaroon with the smiley faces. Renee Ann Hill is also tuned in. You are watching freestyle. We still have Runabout GP1, moto number 2, coming up next. Our next competitor in the freestyle action is going to be Paulo Nunes from Portugal. Mauro Rucco is watching. Bart Seeger, shout out for you, bud. Well, it's been a while since I had the opportunity to hang out with the Seeger family. Big hugs for you and Phil. All right, it's going to be Paulo Nunes, also on a rookie tour. A little bit of background information. He is married to Joana Graças, our Portuguese women's ski rider, and has been her mechanic for the last several years on the tour. And this is his inaugural UIM debut appearance. He had a brief freestyle run in Mirandela a couple of years ago, but didn't do the whole tour. This year he will be competing hopefully in the whole tour, he said. Again, Paulo Nunes from Portugal as he warms up the boat. And he built this boat. Nice backflip. Bought the hull from Lee Stone. A couple of quick flat 360s. He's going to ride the boat back in. Again, you guys, you can see with Alexander Karimshin, not super deep there. They're running in about 6 to 10 feet of water, depending. Nice little flip. Make that a double McFlip for Paulo Nunes. 3-minute routine, 5 judges. Barrel roll into a backflip. Nice combination. And rides it out. Pretty excited about that. Nice backflip, make it into a double. Very fast series of transitions into 180s and 360s. You're watching Paulo Nunes. 360, 360. Another big backflip, and Paulo Nunes is performing this routine all along what would be normally considered a portion of the port or the seawall, and the entire H2O racing team is set up along the wall. Our timing is set up over here. Nice backflip for Paulo Nunes. Our VIP section, our Case Productions crew, race directors, and of course the live stream crew is all here out on this rock wall. Quick series of 360s, little 180 for Paulo Nunes. Backflip as the whistle comes out, nose stabbed it slightly. And if you didn't know any better, it looked like he was wearing a modified 1970s football helmet. And lands a backflip, one-hander. Great job for Paulo Nunes. By the way, the competitors had the opportunity to pick the number that they're going to compete with this year. And Paulo Nunes, of course, from Portugal, did boat number 20 to honor and acknowledge a young lady that we lost last year, Beatrice Curtinel. And what a great way to show our solidarity for the families that we compete and work with year-round. Awesome performance from Paulo Nunes in his inaugural weekend at the first stop in Gallipoli, Italy on the World Championship Tour. Wasting no time whatsoever, we're going straight to the Italian contingent. This is Alberto Carlomingo. Alberto Carlomingo did really well this weekend. Qualified in third yesterday in the first heat. Massive improvement for this young man from last year. He's fighting some injuries in his shoulder and lower back. Did a lot of training in the off season and pumped up the volume in this motor too. And you'll see what I'm talking about as he begins his routine. Got the big lucky casino on the side. Opens it up with a double. Let's make that a triple. Rides it out. He is a technician contractor and is off time. Lives in Montenero, Italy. Quick little 180. Sets up for a backflip. Another little fat, flat 180. Locks him in. Very fun competitor to watch. Another quick backflip. Pops into a 180, sets up right in front of the judges. Almost rode that out, and that was one of the tricks that he was having a bit of a challenge with last year, that and the double backflip. But as you can see, he's been working very hard on improving it. Flat 360. And a nose stab. Goes for a triple backflip, rides it out. Very happy the results on that one. These 3-minute routines are so hard. Very impressed with these guys being able to maintain the momentum. Dean Cherrier, it's great to have you on the live stream with us today. Backflip, backflip, and backflip for Alberto Carlomingo. Well, we'll just make that 4 in a row. Shout out for Jason Psycho Ward for watching. Helena Borgstrom also hanging with us. Tiago Rodriguez and Felipe Coste. Hi there, Chris. Good to see you. Barrel roll for Alberto Carlomingo. Don't go away. We're going to be having runabout right at you next. 2 more competitors after Alberto Carlomingo, and then we'll start our Parade of Nations for the GP runabout class. Another setup for the Italian rider from Montenero, barrel roll, rides it out. Quick 180, and the flag is out. So he is going to have time for possibly 1, maybe 2 more quick combinations if he's fast. Backflip, skimmed it. Going to try to lock in. Will he have enough time to fire off another series of tricks? 1.5 backflips as the final whistle indicating the end of that routine. Also, shout out for Juanita Moles. Our next competitor coming at you is nicknamed the Wolf and clearly somebody that is incredibly partial to the color yellow. Roberto Mariani, also from Italy, actually lives in Rome. That is going to be our next freestyler on deck. Roberto qualifying second yesterday in his first full heat. And he lines up for the judges. One of the funnest competitors to watch. Opens up with a great combination. Big series of backflips, and he's going to walk those backflips all the way out. Just mesmerizing to see how beautiful this ocean is out here. You're watching freestyle competition on the Ionian Sea in Gallipoli, Italy, and a beautiful opening combo for Roberto Mariani, aka the Wolf. Barrel roll. He's a crowd favorite. You can certainly see why. 360, 180, 360, 180. Backflip. It's one of the few competitors that really loves to mix up old and new style freestyle. You'll see what I'm talking about. He generally likes to close his routine with the fountain. It's just one of the cool things he does. A couple times we've seen him do the bulldog. He likes to, usually he'll throw in some throws as well. Let's see what he does. There's a typical old school trick. Quick nose stab. Hey, Greg Meta in the house. Good to have you, bud. Thanks for watching. Manuel Serrano Escado, also here. Trey Lee Cunningham, also here. I think his ski does glow in the dark, Travis. There's that big throw we talked about, and that I normally do not see. He actually lost his boat in a tough break for Roberto Mariani, a.k.a. the Wolf. Edgaris Zinkavicius, great to have you. Brenda Burns Chambers also watching. I think everybody's getting ready for some runabout too. So a tough break for the gentleman that had qualified in second and also was in second place after that series of heats yesterday, and right now burning up a little bit of time that is much needed for Roberto Mariani in this 3-minute routine. And just a few seconds left for him. He might have enough time to kick off at least one final combination. Let's see if Roberto Mariani is able to do that. And he does. He's just going to close it with his signature, the fountain, a crowd favorite. But man, what a tough break for Roberto Mariani, but still an amazing competitor and definitely one of the funnest guys on the tour. Yeah, Travis Kraft, ouch, is right. Yeah, Nedra, I hear ya. I think we all had a moment there. Still a wonderful finish for Roberto Mariani, and what a trooper. Like I said, we on 3 sides here have areas blocked off for the freestyle competition, and you saw that boat bouncing off one of the big, it's partly a man-made barrier and partly coral barrier over there. All right, our final competitor in the freestyle competition this afternoon, Rashid Al-Mullah. And Rashid is not going to waste any time. A big 50-50 or 1-foot, one-handed backflip, or you could legit call that probably a can flip. He's going to do another quick setup here. Now, he is not going to go as massively high on amplitude here because he injured his shoulder earlier this week. But as you can see, even with an injured shoulder, Almola not messing around on these combinations. A massive series here of 360s, barrel rolls, and backflips. Inevitably wows the crowd. And Team Abu Dhabi got to be very proud of this young man. Shout out to Abdullah Al-Fadel. Great to have you. Or as Mike Young would say, Prince Hakeem. Carol Ann Gastina is watching. Hey, good to have you. Okay, Rashid Almola doing a quick setup wake here. And he's working a little deep down the pier. Goes for a hood grab, backflip combination. 1 foot on both of those backflips. And he did a double. Now, again, they're performing that freestyle as close to the VIP and judges area as possible. So a little bit further away from the beach and the crowd, nevertheless. If you look along the seawall there, you can see a massive crowd lining up for us. Wow, over 360, that was huge, a 580. Rotation, backflip, barrel roll combination for Rashid Almola, incredible. TJ Marco saying great job from Clearwater, Florida. Thank you, TJ. Maria says get Runabout GP on. We're coming. Peter Waldron. I miss you, buddy. Yeah, boy is right. Amazing combination for Rashid Almola. Backflips, barrel roll, and again, those 360s, but it's the quickness of those transitions that makes it so spectacular and so much fun to watch. Additionally to that, Rashid Almola's incredible personality helps. He is so much fun. He has a lot of passion for the sport. You can pretty much catch him 24/7. No-hander barrel roll for him. And another barrel roll, and then reverses, series of reverses actually for these 360s. What's really great about this competitor is even though the flags come up for him indicating the end of the routine, he will almost always do extra tricks for the crowd, making him even more fun to watch, I think. Rashid Almola, Team Abu Dhabi, is on the water. Representing for the UAE, and he will be joining us for the entire tour. And that is going to do it for the official portion of the routine. Again, these very long routines, 3 minutes, 5 judges, and 5 particular areas that they look for. And all of this is just for the crowd. He starts this series of backflips, and he's going to walk it as close to the beach as possible. And then he does a no-hander lander, and you can see Gallipoli, Italy responding because he's just way too much fun to watch. You've been watching Freestyle live on the UIM ABP Aquabike World Championship Tour. This is our first stop, and we're going to be coming right at you with the GP Runabout class next, and you can hear them in the background starting to stage. Rashid Almola, by the way, your winner from yesterday. It was Roberto Mariani in second, Alberto Carmelingo in third, Paulo Nunes in fourth, and Alexander Karimshin, your 5th place. Shout out to all of Rashid's friends and teammates that were watching him. Saud, great to have you. Khalud Alimazi, also great to have you here. Emma Gadsby's watching today. Thanks so much. Emma Molly Fern did amazing. All right, guys, we've got the Runabout class will be coming up next. I'm Dawn Dawson, your host. We will be right back after this.
Second row of lights come on. Third row of lights come on, and they go off, and the divers explode away from the duck.
Welcome back to the UIM ABP first round at Gallipoli, Italy. Here's a bit of a recap for what happened yesterday, and I think you can sum it up in the fives. Josef wasn't the first boat to leave the line, but by the end of the first turn, he had already established that Zane Finance-sponsored boat was going to be the whole shot winner. He held on to that until the sun blinded him briefly on the backstretch. He slowed down to adjust to the course. His lanyard popped, slamming him rather abruptly to the boat. That minor mishap moved him back from first to fifth and opened up the door to none other than boat number 5, Georgi Kasha, as he nailed the lead, which Georgi did not relinquish for the next 22 minutes of madness. And madness is exactly what it was on the water for 25 boats. Yesterday, every second counted. Josef had moved from fifth to second by lap number 7, but there was a 30-second gap between him and Georgi Kashi. Was he able to make that up? Yeah. By lap 13, he went and reduced it to a mere 5.80 seconds. Sadly, that was also the last lap, so number 5 took the win. But that was not all of the drama that happened yesterday. James Bushell running the 1.5, a partial nod to his 1.58 performance shop, started in ninth on the first lap. The reason that he did that was because he had sucked up some stuff in the pump on the start. He was on the chase for Yusuf, who was in fifth by lap 3, when suddenly the number 15 boat blew. Crankshaft gone, impeller gone, all of that under 5 seconds, relegating Bushell to the back of a 25 boat pack. Despite those challenges and the fact that Bushell could not get past quarter throttle, he still managed to move up into 19th and 17th for that final finish. Did not give him any points, however. Coming into today, that is going to be a big challenge for James Bushell. I'll tell you more about that drama in just a second. Jeremy Perez, who is in fifth on the whole shot, lost a bit of ground only to regain that fifth spot by lap number 5, and then finished for race in third. Christopher Agostino, despite a bad boy bond rail bromance on the first laps with Lars Ackerblom, grabbed a fourth, and Lars ended up with fifth. That's your recap, and once again, number 5 was at the top of the heat. Here comes your riders list, 25 racers on the line. Kasha Georgi out of Hungary. Josef Abdulrazak, your defending world champion from Kuwait. Jeremy Perez from France. Christoph Agostino from Portugal. Lars Ackerblom from Sweden. Johan Johansson from Sweden. Roberto Alexander from Estonia. Markus Schick from Austria. Seke Zolt from Hungary. Lorenzo Benalia from Italy. Jan Jensen from Denmark. Hervé Partouche from France. Frederick Brandau from Germany. Andres Wisniewski from Poland, Alexander Kabitov from Russia, Anthony Radatic from the USA, James Bushell in 17th from Great Britain, Guy Greenland from Australia on boat number 20, Michel Colasanto from Italy, Alan Kolesiak from Poland, Mindaugas Jasuskis from Lithuania, Mattia Fracasso from Italy, Marcus Jorgensen from Denmark, and Wu Ronghua, a.k.a. Woody from China, and Gintaras Vinkas, also from Lithuania. That is your field, 25 riders, and you can already see the live stream starting to light up. Let's take a moment and we'll do a quick interview with our winner from yesterday's Moto 1.
I think I a little bit lucky because after the nice horse shot, Yusuf he stopped front of me, so I passed him, and after nobody pushed me, so like easy moto. But I enjoy because long time I'm not racing on the ocean, so I'm really happy now.
Welcome back to the UIM ABP World Championship Tour. I'm Dawn Dawson, and we're about to light them up for the Runabout GP1 class. But first, let's do the Parade of Nations. Again, we came into this round with 29 riders. They only allow 25 on the line. Interesting UIM rule, which is very cool for Anton Pankratov, who had a tough break. He'd gotten a brand new boat for this season and actually went out there and had boat problems. So, unfortunately, he was, sorry, I had a little off-camera chat with the Case Productions crew. If you hear that interesting pause, they were giving me the fun, yes, you're live sign. We're live. You guys are awesome. All right, so Anton Pankratov, let me just recap that one. He had come in with this brand new boat, and unfortunately, in the very first couple of laps, the boat went down on him. So he was on the reserve list, but unable to make it out there, so a tough break for him. But he was just one of two of the riders that was on that reserve list. Two of the other riders actually did not qualify to come into this main event. So that is how it shapes up. Again, your recap. Georgi Kasha with the win from Hungary yesterday. Abdulrazak second. Jeremy Perez third. Christoph Agostino in fourth from the Moto 1. Lars Ackerblom in fifth. Johan Johansson in sixth. Roberto Alexander in seventh. Marcus Schick in eighth. And you can already see, like I said, lots and lots and lots of feedback. Go 86. I do believe Chris McCluggage was rooting for Anthony Radatic. And by the way, Anthony had a good run going. His seat broke yesterday, and that actually happened on the first lap, so a tough break for him. Big grid here, same lineup. And they're getting these guys staged right now for this Parade of Nations. Just taking a look down that line, making sure that everybody is ready to go. Got the flags lined up. I know. We missed Choke. Yes, we're still doing the getting ready to do this parade. Chocolate Moli didn't go to Thailand. I know. Juanita, he should have been here. Andrea Robinson is tuned in. It's great to have you. Me too, Chris. I'm ready, bud. Shout out for Mendaugas from his team. Iman and Hugo saying go Sweden. Pascal Padovani, go Jeremy. Traley Cunningham, go G and James. By the way, Guy Greenland also with engine trouble yesterday, had to replace the entire engine today. Here's the rest of the story on James Bushell, which I'd given you a little bit of feedback on from yesterday. Blew that crankshaft, the CDI, and the impeller all gone. Then they went back out today with a backup engine. They dropped an entire engine in it, and then they had another crack in the engine. Tried JB Weld. That didn't work. As soon as they went out to do the warm-up on him, he ended up going on the tow rope almost instantly. So he is going to be on a stock boat. Again, your heads up on that. James Bush will be on a stock boat. But knowing boat number 15, that could still work in his favor. We'll see what happens. This is your Parade of Nations. Hi, Andrea Robinson. Hi, Fabio. Hi, Bart Murrens. Great to have you here. Shout out from Vicky Gregory. Good luck, James. Danny El-Khoury saying go Yusuf. That's to your defending world championship title holder, Yosef Abdulrazak, the Razak attack. Man, he had an insane race yesterday. All right, you guys, 25 riders. It was 29 originally with 18 countries. Here's just some of the countries represented on the water. Abdulrazak for Kuwait, Alexander Kamatov for Russia, as well as Dmitry Sukhov, also riding for Russia. Georgi Kasha riding for Hungary. Mattia riding for Italy. He's not alone, however. Gianluca Sanaamantini, also an Italian rider. Michele Colasanto, not on the water at the moment, is also riding for Italy, as well as Lorenzo Benalia. Abdulaziz is tuning in, the real world champion, Yosef Abdulrazak. Well, he most certainly is. A 4-time world champion on the UIM ABP Tour and going for his 5th world title this year in 2018. And yes, you can hear Thunderstruck. Bobby Cardone, shout out, bud. It's good to have you joining us. You're about to watch these guys as they go for a whole shot in GP Runabout 1, and I've already got goosebumps. Australia in the house with Guy Greenland. Alan Kodoziak from Poland. Lithuania represented. China represented with Woody. That's Wu Rong Wu. Jan Jensen from Denmark. And the roar has temporarily subsided as we get these guys. Yes, Marcus Jorgensen also in the house. Marcus riding for Denmark on boat number 12. By the way, Marcus in moto number 1 blew out an impeller. That's why you see him a little bit down on the pack. He ended up in 23rd yesterday. Marcus Jorgensen looked spectacular in the qualifying, if you got a chance to watch that on Friday. Don't forget, we're going to be live next week in Olbia, which is a beautiful city right in the island of Sardinia. So back-to-back Italian championships coming at you from the UIM. All right, we're getting these guys back in the lineup. We're just finishing up here. Georgi Kasha is getting his flag back to the beach. Mattia Fracassa with a tough break yesterday had a cooling problem. Cooling system went out on him. Welcome, Michael Osborne. Great question, Chris. I will find, can they use Yamaha tanks in Sea-Doos? You know what? I'll find out for you. I actually do not know the answer to that question, Mac. Let me ask, and I will get back to you. DJ Marco, can I be your assistant? Absolutely. Rashid Aldawas is watching. It's great to have you here. Jesus Arenas, go Roberto Alexander. Roberto, your rider from Estonia, has had an amazing weekend. Skinny Mo is also watching. Great to have you here. Christian Miller doing a shout out for Bushy. Christian Miller also watching live. Thank you. Again, James Bushell will be on a stock boat today. And if you are looking for him in the lineup, yeah, he is going to be on that outside because he had to go to a backup boat, and because they had to switch boats. It's going to be in that final grouping. Again, your first group is Georgi Kashi on the pole. Boat number 5, Yosef Abdulrazak on boat number 1 in second. Jeremy Perez is going to be third. Christoph Agostino in fourth, and Lars Ackerblom in fifth. That is your first grid. Johan Johansson is on the pole position on that second grid. Wu Rong Ra with a great start on that outside split on boat number 17, not the split section, but the outside grid. As they make the turn, it's Yosef Abdulrazak in the lead with Georgi Kashi Very close behind him, second. Now third. Josef going to that outside. Georgi's going to pick up the inside split. Josef to the outside split. And Josef is on this front stretch. Hole shot is going to go to your defending world champion. It's going to be Christoph Agostino in second. Georgi Kashi in third. Roberto Alexander in fourth. Perez in fifth. Lars Ackerblom in sixth. And I do believe James Bushell up in seventh. I think so. I'll try to get a confirmation on that. I was looking for him. Afternoon sun is actually going to be pushing us a little bit on getting these numbers. But the short story is Josef Abdul-Razak with the hole shot. Mike Klippenstein. True that. On reliability, that is going to be the name of the game today. We had a ton of riders with mechanical hiccups yesterday. Christoph Agostino, by the way, had a big bump with Lars Ackerblom. Agostino and Ackerblom ended up fourth and fifth, respectively, in Noto number one, and you're getting the opportunity to watch these guys go head-to-head. It is Josef Abdul-Razak on that outside, and it is Georgi Kasha on the inside split, and you can see that drone right above Josef Abdul-Razak as he makes his way to that checkered area, and here's the first time in this lap. 2:45.08 is the first lap posted time for Josef Abdul-Razak. It's going to be Christoph Agostino that's moved into second place with a 2:48.52. Kasha in third. And a rider off the boat, that is Roberto Alexander with a big bump on that front stretch. Jeremy Perez in fourth with a 2:59.79. Lars Ackerblom in fifth with a 3:03.13. Jan Jensen in sixth with a 3:13.35. Alexander Kapitov with a 3:15.94. Boat number two. Where is Bushell? Marcus Schick, boat number 51 in 8th place with a 3:19.04. Johan Johansson in 9th with a 3:19.79, and it's Wu Wong Wah, boat number 17. That was that top 10. It wasn't 15, it was 17. Still looking for James Bushell, and he is currently in 17th. 3:40.95 was his time. Meanwhile, we are getting Roberto Alexander back on his boat. Guy Greenland also did not complete that first lap, so I've got to imagine that we had some engine problems already. And Josef Abdul-Razak yeah, this track is 1.8 kilometers. It's a massive track this weekend. It is not actually a live event. It has been pre-recorded. You can rewatch this. Just go to the website, aquabike.net. Meanwhile, you're watching Josef Abdul-Razak. This is going to be lap number 2, 1:52.76 is the time he posted. Meanwhile, Christoph Agostino with a 1:56.20. In second, Georgi Kashi with a third. He just got outmaneuvered working that inside split. Christoph Agostino swept into that second out of the split section. Georgi in third, and Jeremy Perez in fourth with a 1:52.98. Thus far on that, it is between, as far as fastest lap times, Josef Abdul-Razak has the fastest lap on that, 1:52.76. Man, insanity. Holy buckets. And that is the mess that you're watching on the front stretch. Lars Ackerblom as he works his way through the left-hand side of this track. Josef, your defending world champion, still leading. Great drone footage from Robbie Anderson. .154.68, Josef Abdulrazak still leading. We're on lap number 3. 6 minutes, 39 seconds on the clock. This is a 25-minute moto plus 1 lap. And that is your shot of Josef Abdulrazak on the left-hand side of the track. They literally have to come back in towards the beach, and then they have a very sharp turn that is against the waves and not even straight against the waves. You can see that these guys are getting pummeled on this track. Average lap times on 1:54.68. Fastest one thus far was a 1:52.76, and that lap time, fastest lap time, was posted by Josef Abdulrazak. Christoph Agostino, 11.49 seconds behind the race leader. Christopher in second place. Gentleman that came in fourth yesterday, rides for Portugal. Up in third, it's Georgi Kasha with a 1:58.22. Kasha, your race winner yesterday. Fingers crossed. Jeremy Perez in fourth on boat number 86. Jeremy, of course, riding for France. His lap time, 1:56.45. And that is your shot of the front stretch. 25 boats on the water. Well, we could take that down to 24 because Roberto Alexander unfortunately had that fracas happen on the front stretch. They've had him under a tow hook. Your defending world champion still winning. That was a quick shot of Frederick Braundow from Germany underneath the drone. 1:54.68 for Josef Abdulrazak. And that is Georgi Kashi. And Georgi is, again, working the inside split. And he's gained some time on Christoph Agostino. Let's see how much time he's gained. Christoph Agostino came through at a 2:03.20, and Georgi Kasha actually came in at a 2:02.13 on that last lap. Running faster and went into the inside split on it, which they had talked about being a little bit slow. And Georgi Kashi is currently in Christoph Agostino's back pocket on the left-hand side of that track. So the pressure happening for boat number 10 and boat number 5, and you can see it as these guys made their way back into that beach, that very tight turn I was talking about. Working through the lap traffic as well. That is Georgi that was sweeping wide. But Christoph Agostino had the line and he just protected it. Go, 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 go is exactly right. Crazy fast. All right, Georgi Kashi up in the screen. I was just watching the replay. just stuck his nose right into that turn and stuffed it too hard and stripped himself off the boat. He's having to make a swim back to the boat. That is right off of the first set of buoys before they have to go into the split section, and Georgi Kashi off the boat. Oh, what a heartbreaker for boat number 5, who was winning coming into this second moto. 2:02.72 was the time posted for Yosef Abdul-Razak. Jeremy Perez has moved into that second place spot. 1:58.78 was his time. Christoph Agostino into third, and Georgi Kashi posted up there in fourth. But that, not sure where he really is, I'll let you know. Tim Miller, welcome to the live feed. And ouch, that had to hurt. One of the few athletes we know, actually, that could pull that off, get back on the boat, and still come and charge that. Lars Ackerblom just popped through. He's in 5th place with a 2:02.49. And sure enough, Georgi Kashi still in 4th after that massive get-off. Yosef Abdul-Razak still leading, your defending world champion after the hole shot. 5 laps into it, is still running in the lead, 11:42 of this 25-minute moto. 7G high side, Mac, no kidding, ow. I see Kim Jensen on the line rooting for Jan Jensen, rider from Denmark. Holy crap, he did, yes, Chris. Jeremy got around Kasha. He is up in 2nd place. Mad props to Jeremy Perez, your France rider, and Marcus Jorgensen, who started, check this out, guys, he was 3rd from last off of that line and is actually 3rd, 23? He was actually 23 off the line. And Marcus Jorgensen is where? In 6th place right now. So incredible run from Marcus Jorgensen, currently up in 6th. Lars Ackerblom in 5th with a 2:02.49. Georgi Kasha in 4th with a 2:26.88, even after that dismount. 3rd place, Christoph Agostino with a 2:07.11, and Jeremy Perez with a 1:58.79. This next one, he just hit a 2:00.69. Yosef Abdul-Razak still leading. Just wanted to give you guys the quick rundown. That is just nuts. Yeah, thank you so much, Omad. So you guys were telling me that he had actually gotten around Kashi just before. I suspect Georgi might have been gotten past before he went off of that boat. Regardless, that was a nasty bounce off of that front stretch. Unfreaking believable. Yosef Abdul-Razak in 13 minutes and 13 and a half minutes actually into this race, leading. And Georgi Kashi dead. And he is actually signaling for a rider commissioner to come over and put him up on a tow rope, and a heartbreaker for a gentleman that won Moto number 1 after an incredible race yesterday, now looking for a commissioner. And he is located right off of that turn back into the beach, and the commissioner having to come and pick him up. So, tough one. And another rider down, could not catch the number on that. I'll see if I can get that in just a minute. Meanwhile, that is Jeremy Perez moving past him. There's your long shot of the outside split. And you can hear the officials in the background firing up. Yosef Abdul-Razak, your defending world champion. Leading as we enter over 14, it's actually 15 minutes now of this 25-minute moto. By the way, Yosef's on the left-hand side of the track. And it's got a vicious series here. You see that triple, and then he has to go back into a double. They do have a separate course for the runabouts. 1.8 is what we're looking at on distance. And you'll see that little double red and then the white and red buoy. That was signaling to the stand-up riders to come back in and do that tighter course. But look how far out Yosef Abdul-Razak has to go before he can even get to the back stretch. You're watching the race leader. Yosef Abdul-Razak on that monster of a backstretch. His last lap time, a 2:07.39. What an incredible run by Jeremy Perez. His last lap time, a 2:03.80. Jeremy, by the way, yesterday came in third. If he can keep that boat running, he has got a podium. Yosef Abdul-Razak going to lock down this Grand Prix if he can hold on for another 9 minutes. 16 minutes into this. Holy moly. Outside split, those are the green buoys. 15-minute separation, 15-second separation between Yosef Abdul-Razak and Jeremy Perez. So you saw that white buoy that Yosef just clicked through. That's that opportunity for them to drop back into the beach. Look how massive this course is. And that is just a partial shot. What you're seeing is a view of the checkered buoys there, those white buoys. That is the finish line. And then they do that super sharp elbow turn back into the beach, and then they have to go back out on a series of tight turns on the left-hand side of the track. And then they go that double, triple, double, and then out to the far buoy to the back stretch. 25 plus a lap. It's 25-minute moto, Chris, plus 1 lap. And we're 17:33 in. Here's your rundown. Yosef Abdul-Razak with a 1:59.06. He still has the track record on this one with a 1:52.76 fastest lap time. Jeremy Perez in second with a 2:05.15. Marcus Jorgensen all the way from 23rd up into third place with a 2.0062. Lars Ackerblom in fourth with a 2:06.53. Christoph Agostino with a 2:29.18 is actually going the other direction. Tough break for him. Man, Kabatoff also on the move. He's gone up into sixth place, 2:11.60. Johan Johansson with a 2:09.93. Marcus Schick in eighth with a 2:12.53. Roberto Alexander back out on that track with a 2:06.61. Wu Ronghua with a 2:18.48. Andres Wisniewski with a 2:14.03 is in 11th. Jan Jensen in 12th with a 2:29.18. Hervé Partouche in 13th with a 2:15.53. Frederick Brandau in 14th with a 2:17.14. Your other Polish rider, Alan Kolidziak with a 2:18.93 is in 15th. And if you're waiting for Bushel, he is in 17th right now with a 2:11.90. Tough for him. But again, remember, stock boat. Yeah, number 5 broke. Tough break for Georgi Kashi. 19 minutes in for Yosef Abdul-Razak, and that was your quick shot there of our race leader. Insane race. Absolutely insane. And to be able to look up and see Jeremy Perez, who had been racing so solid yesterday in Moto number 1, a bit of that recap on it. He actually had to work his way up from 5th place, ended up with that 3rd, and turned into a pass with Georgi Kashi, and is now sitting pretty in 2nd place. Lars Ackerblom, if you just want to check on that, he's at a 2:03.65 was his last lap time. He's in 4th. And Marcus Jorgensen has been the real story, too, today. That big move from 23rd into 3rd place. Marcus, by the way, in Moto number 1 yesterday was doing pretty well, but he had actually stripped the splines off of the impeller, costing him precious position time. He had to start on that outside grid, up in third. The distance between first place to third. Yeah, let me just give you the update on that one. Right now, you've got Yosef Abdul Razak with a 1:57.53. Wow. Give me just a minute, and I will give it to you. Jorgensen has current lap time is a 2:01.62. Jeremy Perez with a 2:03.41. As soon as they get through with this lap, I'll be able to give you an update. By the way, we are 20 minutes in, almost 21 minutes into a 25-minute moto. They've got about 4 more minutes to go, plus a lap. Yeah, go Bushy on a stock boat. No kidding. He's doing amazing. I mean, honestly, 17th place, still respectable for a gentleman that's riding on a stock engine. He needs points. Okay, you were asking for the distance. So Yosef Abdul Razak is leading, but it's a 30-second lead between him and second place, Jeremy Perez. And Jorgensen is a little over a minute behind Yosef Abdul Razak. So I think I was trying to answer that question. We had a question on that live stream. So about 65 seconds is the gap between Marcus Jorgensen and Yosef Abdul Razak. And yeah, it is an amazing race. Defending world champion, still leading. There's your shot of Lars Åkerblom on boat number 30. Lars Åkerblom in fourth. And Lars is 80 seconds from the leader, Yosef Abdul Razak. He is in fourth, still great race. By the way, great racing to Simon Raoul, I see, who has turned in. You actually have less than 4 minutes now. You have 22 and a half minutes into this race. This is a 25-minute plus one moto. You're looking at about a little over 2.5 minutes plus another lap. Yosef Abdul Razak. And as you can see, he's riding relaxed, as is typical of him. Very analytical, very strategic rider. He knows how to play very smart on these tour stops, and he has put himself in the perfect position. He was second yesterday and is currently on the bubble to take another Grand Prix win if he can keep the boat together. So he's just riding a solid race, not going crazy, and he's not trying to ride over that boat's capabilities. A few more laps for him, and that's going to lock him down. Another great ride, too, for Jeremy Perez on boat number 86. Hey, shout out to Barack Irvadi, who actually was on this tour last year. Great to have you watching. We miss you, bud. All right, you're watching Jeremy Perez, your French rider. 28 seconds, so he has made up some time. 28 seconds separating Yosef Abdul Razak from Jeremy Perez, the second place rider. 63 seconds from Marcus Jorgensen, a makeup of 3 seconds on that last lap for Marcus Jorgensen. Yosef Abdul Razak, the defending world champion, with 24.5 minutes into the second moto, still leading. Fastest lap time was a 1:52.72, and that is the fastest time on the track today. And they are getting that white flag ready for Yosef Abdul Razak. And there's your long view of the racetrack. You can see what we had talked about, how far out they have to go after that double turn. See the double buoys they pick up, and then they make this big shot to this backstretch, 1.8. You're watching live from Gallipoli, Italy. 25:27 is the time. Jeremy Perez and Marcus Jorgensen starting to make up even more time on Yosef Abdul-Razak. Probably not going to be enough. We are getting very close to this white flag popping out for your defending champion from Kuwait. 2:03.82 is the last lap time. Jeremy Perez at a 2:0069. He is now 25 seconds behind Yosef Abdul-Razak. Marcus Jorgensen 61.43 seconds behind. And here comes Yosef Abdul-Razak from that outside split. He will get the white flag on this lap. And the white flag comes out for your Kuwait rider. Second yesterday. And is on his final lap to see if he can lock down the Grand Prix of Italy, Yosef Abdul-Razak. Meanwhile, Jeremy Perez also just got the white flag from that front stretch. Just taking a quick look here to see Jorgensen coming through. And Marcus Jorgensen also has just gotten the white flag. 2:02.22 for Yosef Abdul-Razak, a 1:59.89 on that lap for Jeremy Perez, now 23 seconds behind. Marcus Jorgensen at a 2:04.33, back at 63.54 seconds behind the race leader. And you can see Yosef teammates and friends on the live feed. Starting to chat. James was in 17th. I'll do a quick look for you just to see where Bushel is. He has moved up into 15th. He is going to get points. For this race, I just want to take a quick moment here and congratulate Yosef Abdul-Razak for his win. Second yesterday and a first today is going to be all he needs to take the Grand Prix of Italy. Congratulations to our defending champion. And I'll give you the rundown as these guys come through. Again, we have a few seconds here in between, but you can hear the commentators in the background on the live show as they congratulate our Kuwait rider. And what a spectacular race. No kidding. Perez also with a great one. I'm seeing some great feedback for him as well. And man, you just got to really hand it to this rider from France, Jeremy Perez, such a fighter. And he comes across, and I just looked up, so too does Marcus Jorgensen, so that is going to lock it. Yosef Abdul-Razak with the win. Jeremy Perez with that 2:03.66 came in second for moto number 2. That is going to be plenty to move him into second place on the podium this afternoon. And Marcus Jorgensen with that 2:07 on that final lap. What a spectacular run. I'm just going to double check that one more time, but he was third from the finish. That would have been really 23rd off of the line, and went from 23rd to third probably one of the most spectacular finishes I've seen in a long time on that kind of race with that kind of talent. That was awesome. The toughest break, I think, really was Georgi Kasha after that fight, and then having the boat break on him. And then, of course, you know, you can't talk about this without talking about Bushel and what all he went through. And again, some of the stuff with that was he had the boat break yesterday. They had time. They dumped in a new engine this morning. They thought everything was going okay. They put it on the water to test it, found another crack in the alternate engine, and then ended up having to go to the stock boat. So we are going to be doing a podium tonight. I'll talk with you about that a little bit more. But again, James Bushel's going to end up, I believe, with that 15th place. We'll get him a couple of points at least on the board, but a very disappointing and tough day for the gentleman from Great Britain. Meanwhile, top three, Georgi Kasha out of it for that second moto. Yosef Abdul-Razak, your Grand Prix champion, with Jeremy Perez in second. I'll let you know in a little bit who's going to be third. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging with us. Oh, shoot, I meant to tell you. Yeah, let me give you the rest of them. Marcus Jorgensen third. Lars Ackerblom was fourth. Kabatoth fifth. Johan Johansson sixth. And then Marcus Schick in seventh. I'm just waiting because we got to make sure all these guys come through. You know what? Would you guys stand by on this live feed or check out? I'm going to give you the update on James Bushel. Unofficially, it looked like he might have snuck in under the top 10, but until I get a confirmation on that, I'm just going to wait, okay? I don't want to announce it and get everybody fired up. Yeah, we'll be right back, and I'll see if I can figure out where James Bushel ended up for you guys. We'll be right back after this. Thanks.
Second row of lights come on. Third row of lights come on, and they go off, and the divers explode away from the dock.
Welcome back for the UIM ABP Aquabike World Championship Tour. I'm Dawn Dawson. I want to thank you so much for joining us. Here's the quick update for you. I've had a bunch of questions on the top three. We know that Yosef Abdul-Razak took the Grand Prix of Italy for this weekend. It's going to be Jeremy Perez in second. Unofficially, I do believe that's going to be Lars Ackerblom also taking the podium. I was trying to do some quick math there. I was unable to get an official call on where James Bushel was, but I think unofficially that he might have popped into that top 10. I'll find out as soon as I can, and we'll post it up on Facebook for you. Again, on behalf of all of the crew from H2O Racing and, of course, Case Productions and their incredible video work, we loved having you out there. Bummed out, obviously, about Georgi Kashi's finish, but regardless, that all makes for amazing racing. We will be joining you once again live in Italy. It's going to be in Olbia next weekend. Do not forget to tune in. I guarantee it's going to be a brouhaha just like it was today. Don't forget to come hang out with us. We love you all. Have a magnificent rest of your day. Live from Gallipoli, Italy. We're going to go relax a little bit and take a break and go hit the podium. Love you bunches. See you later.